ज्ञान दे करके बाबा शक्तिशाली बना दिया।
दिव्य गुणों की मूर्ति, शक्ति के भंडार तुम।
नवयुग के निर्माता, मानवता के अवतार तुम।
हे अद्विता ब्रह्मा बाबा, शत शत नमन हमारा।
हे अद्विता ब्रह्मा बाबा, शत शत नमन हमारा, शत शत नमन हमारा।
तूफानों को तोहफा समझ हंसते हंसाते पार किया। दानव रूपी मानव को ज्ञान योग से मार दिया।
ब्रह्मा कुमारी नाम देकर इतना ऊंचा मान दिया। मीठे मीठे बच्चे कहकर हमको इतना प्यार दिया।
वंदे मातरम कहकर तूने नारी को सम्मान दिया। हे पुरुषोत्तम ब्रह्मा बाबा, शत शत नमन हमारा।
हे परम पिता शिव बाबा, शत शत नमन हमारा, शत शत नमन हमारा। ब्रह्मा बाबा के तन में शिव बाबा समा गए, बिंदु बन के ज्ञान दाता।
प्रभु के रंग में रंग डाला, अपना तन मन सारा। सेवा का साधन बन गया, फरिश्ता रूप तुम्हारा।
18 जनवरी को पूरे किए 18 अध्याय गीता का। विदाई लेकर फिर बच्चों से बाबा वतन पधारा। हे अद्विता ब्रह्मा बाबा, शत शत नमन हमारा। हे पुरुषोत्तम ब्रह्मा बाबा, शत शत नमन हमारा। हे परम पिता शिव बाबा, शत शत नमन हमारा, शत शत नमन हमारा।
Om Shanti, Sister Jayanti. Om Shanti to everyone.
Om Shanti.
Welcome to everyone. So just a couple of quick stories of Brahma Baba. So once some clothes had fallen from the clothes line, and so Baba asked Vidya Didi to go and pick up those clothes. To which Vidya Didi promptly replied, well, they are not my clothes. So then Baba retorted, and Baba said, what do you mean they are not yours? Where does everyone get their clothes from? They get them from the yajna. And so there is no question of yours or mine. And also Baba explained that if the clothes had fallen, then they have to be washed again, and then there's expense of soap and water and all of that. So this is also how Baba taught us to save the expenses of the yajna, and also for us to see the bigger picture, and also to take care of other people's things, because that also affects us. And then I thought it's apt to maybe share a story of Dadi Janki, because we're also close to her. So actually what had happened once is Dadi had gone in front of Baba, and she had many questions. But as she got to Baba, and then Baba started talking, all her questions got answered. So then Baba asked Janak, do you have any questions? And Dadi said, no, Baba, you've answered them all. So then Baba said, okay, may this be a blessing to you, that whoever comes in front of you, that their questions also get answered. And I think we all directly experienced a lot of that. So one little action, and then it becomes a blessing for life. I find that really interesting. So thank you, Sister Jayanti. Over to you. Look forward.
Om Shanti to everyone, and thank you, Aruna Ben, for those lovely stories. The song was also about 18th January and Shiv Baba coming in the body of Brahma Baba and making us belong to him. And so I think in all centers everywhere, there must have been an atmosphere of yoga being built up for the 18th. And so certainly this has been happening here. We hadn't anticipated that so many people would join the morning meditation from 9 to 11 and then again from 7 to 8 in the evening. But we've had a lot of people, like around 80 people in the morning, 9 to 11. How do they manage their homes and everything else? I'm not sure, but they are, because they're really keen. We planned it only for 5-6 days, or maybe it was a week. And then because there was so much interest, it got extended. So I'm seeing that, especially in the month of January, all the Brahmans really have that special attention on yoga and are very interested to be able to move their forward yoga in this month of blessings. I know my experience tells me that whatever determined thought you have during the month of January for your personal progress or for service, somehow magic works and it gets fulfilled. And so I'm sure that you'll also find that. So today's Wednesday, so Sunday. In Sunday's Murli, Baba was very much talking about all the treasures and seeing the children who have filled themselves with all the treasures. And so one was a treasure of Gyan. The second was a treasure of yoga power and all the powers you get through yoga. And the third was a blessing of the divine virtues. And so Gyan, Yoga, Dharana subjects get covered. And then the fourth blessing was blessings from Baba and also from the family. And so these treasures of 4 different types coming from the 4 subjects for each one of us. And Baba said, if truly you're full of all these treasures, what would your face be like? Surely your face would register the huge happiness you're feeling inside. Because if somebody has a little bit of treasure, they feel happy. But imagine all these 4 treasures, and Baba gives them to us. And so, of course, we feel blessed, but we also show this through the happiness on our faces, in our eyes. And truly, if you look around the world, your little city, your village even, but look at the faces of the people there. When you walk past them, or you're on the bus or train, or even in the car, the people beside you and so on, you won't find real happiness in their faces. They may have a lot going for them in terms of position or property or physical wealth. They may have all of that, but they won't have that sparkle of happiness that Baba and Mama or the Dadis had. And so what's going on? They have perishable wealth, perishable property, etc., etc. But Baba's children have imperishable wealth. It comes from the imperishable Father, and we know that it's going to last us for half the cycle and a bit longer. And so Baba's children are the ones who are the instruments to give happiness to absolutely everyone else. So can I check myself and see, is the thermometer of my happiness high, or does it fluctuate? How much of my happiness am I able to share with others? Am I able to give others even a few drops? Baba gave the example of somebody who's very thirsty, parched. And even if they get a few drops of water, they're very, very happy with that. And so can I experience that stage of being so full of treasures that my happiness is really high, and I'm sharing that happiness with others through a smile, through my eyes, even just a few drops of happiness, so that they feel a little bit content, at least in my presence. Their waves of sorrow should finish. And then, yes, if they study and follow Gyan further, then their happiness will be imperishable also. But at least at the moment, coming into contact with Baba's yogi children and family, it really means that they should carry away even a few drops, if not more, of happiness. And then Baba spoke about, have you been able to check yourself? Is the level of your happiness constant, consistent? Nowadays, they have many different instruments to check everything. Science has created so much technology that you can check absolutely everything. And so, do you have the ways and means of checking your own inner state of happiness? If you're the child of the imperishable Father, your happiness is imperishable. And so what happens to you? You forget it, you let go of it. What happens? And so now to have that aim of keeping a constant, stable stage of happiness in my mind. So Baba took up the theme of stability and concentration. In Hindi, stability, ekagar, ek, stable in one, and then ekagarta, concentration, focus. The words are totally similar. And so can I practice my own inner stage of stability? Am I able to keep my mind where I want it to be for however long I want it to be there, and then move it in a different direction as and when I choose? Or is it that sometimes I'm in charge of my mind, and guess what? At other times, the mind has taken over and my mind is controlling me. I'm not the controller of my mind, but my mind is controlling me. When I understand the difference in these things, then yes, I'm going to check and practice. And definitely I would see that, like Baba saw, Baba said, he watched us, and he said that I did not see many stable minds. Most of you were engaged either in service or you were engaged in wasteful things. And then Baba didn't list them, you can imagine. So even in those days, just imagine the state of stability of the mind. And today, when there are so many, many, many distractions, at that time, they worked hard to create that stable stage through hours and hours of silent meditation. We don't have the opportunity for hours and hours, but what we can do is in the time that we've allocated for remembrance, morning hours, and then traffic control time, let me use these fixed timings that are part of my routine anyway to create that stable stage so that my mind stays where I ask it to stay instead of going off somewhere else. And so I've also mentioned how if you don't have a stable mind, then you find yourself in a situation where you say something, you do something, and then you say, well, I didn't really mean it. It isn't what I was thinking. I don't know how this happened. Or I wasn't planning to say this, but the words just jumped out. I don't know why. Well, obviously it's there in my heart. This is why it's jumping out. But of course, it damages the whole atmosphere and relationships, and there's a breakdown. And within the Brahman family, we're a precious few jewels in the garland around Baba's neck. And if I get upset because I'm not set on my stable seat, then a loss of a Brahman is a huge loss for any center. It's a great loss for the one who's decided I can't carry on, but also when the vacancy they've left, where do you find others to fill that vacancy? Even if it just means the place where they sat in class on that chair is going to be vacant for a long time. But Baba's saying that be the ruler of your mind. Don't let yourself get upset over anything. Don't let the mind make you do things that you know you didn't want to do or you shouldn't have done. That's what the mind tries to do. The mind tries to control me rather than me being able to control the mind. But the way to attain the angelic stage is through stability, leading to focus and concentration, and then I can attain the angelic stage. Without these first two being put in place, the angelic stage is very, very far away. And so this is why they say if you conquer your mind, you conquer the world, you become the masters of the world. And so Baba described in a lot of detail about how with focus and concentration, you're able to remove all obstacles. It's true, because the power that you get will show you what you need to do in those obstacles. Do I need to have sweetness and humility? Do I need to have the ability to face up to a situation? Do I just have to merge it and keep moving forward? The power of concentration will show me the way to finish the obstacle and jump over it or ignore it or skirt around it. It's that power that will tell me. It'll bring me much closer to Baba because I'm focused on one. My relationships are with one. And so I'm very, very close to Baba. And then it's the stage that will enable me to attain my angelic stage also, because through that concentration capacity, I'll be able to be detached here and fly up above. And so Baba then described Brahma Baba and how not just the last few weeks or months, but certainly the last few years, we saw Baba on the one hand, very loving and yet also very detached. We saw Baba here with us, but also Baba in a different dimension, the avyakt dimension, the dimension beyond sound. We saw Baba engaged and fulfilling all the responsibilities on this level, but none of that was touching his stage. His stage was up above. And so Baba's saying, can you experience that for yourself also? So that others who see you, like with Baba, they just saw the light form of Baba. As I walk, as I move, as I sit and do what I need to do, if I'm focused and concentrated on Baba, Baba said, be incorporeal like me and be the subtle angel like the Father Brahma. And so we have both opportunities. Yes, let me be that point of light just in my home with God, but also let me take on my costume of light and be with Brahma Baba, my angelic parent. And so Baba is saying that you have love for Father Brahma, then surely you want to become like him. And so this is how you do it. And Baba mentioned 3 specific qualities of the angelic stage: love and benevolence, and also respect. And when I have love in my heart, and there's nothing but good wishes to uplift others, benevolence is not just being kind, but benevolence is where I'm able to uplift another. And so that stage in which I have such good wishes for all that I'm able to help them be uplifted, and regard for everyone. An angel does not discriminate, but an angel sees everyone with that love and purity. And then Baba mentioned a very interesting comment that stability comes, when there is stability, with stability comes self-respect. And it was just one sentence there, but definitely it's worth pondering over and reflecting how, if my mind isn't stable, I'm never going to have self-respect. But when I've made my mind stable so that it's not wandering around here and there, not allowing the mind to take over and rule over me, to do things I know I shouldn't be doing. So that stage of self-respect comes when I've attained stability, and then, yes, respect for everyone. And then, yes, I can move to my angelic stage, because that stability allows me to concentrate. If I'm not even stable, man manabhav, if my mind isn't stable in that awareness, how can I concentrate? And so not to let the mind go wandering off here and there, but to really attain stability and concentrate. And through that, yes, you can be the angel. And then Baba switched topics, because it seems that Delhi and Calcutta were about to have big mega events. When Dadiji first introduced the idea of a mega event in 2003, at that time she said, is it possible to gather a gathering of 100,000 people? And of course, she had such capacity, such inspiration, that everybody says, yes, Daddy, we can do it. And you heard the story of Ahmedabad being the first to take it on, then Mumbai, and then, of course, all the big cities. But it seems that by now, Delhi and Calcutta were ready. And Baba mentioned how, when he was giving blessings for Calcutta, so that then there would be success is guaranteed. When there's, Baba used 3 other words. Baba said, when there's cooperation and love and courage. Interesting, because cooperation, yes, if through stability and being set on my seat of self-respect, I've given respect to others, then as a result of giving respect, as a result of investing in relationships, cooperation is going to come naturally and easily. If I haven't invested in relationships, then that connection is just isn't there. And so why should anybody even have the thought of cooperating with me? But when I've invested in relationships and given respect, then cooperation is going to come naturally. And of course, what keeps us together is the thread of relationship of love. And so Baba talking about love. But then the third thing, courage. If you want to do a little thing, fine, it's easy. And maybe doing the little things will give you confidence and bring you to the point where now it's not just a little thing, but now it's a big thing. And it takes a lot of courage to say yes to something that's going to be big. But you know there's cooperation, you know there's love, and you know that if it's altruistic, it's not that I'm doing something because I want to do it for my own glory. I am ready to do something for Baba so that Baba can be revealed, so that others can know Baba and take their fortune from Baba. Maybe peace, maybe love, maybe joy, maybe harmony. Whatever it is they're in need of, Baba's able to give them, but let me be an instrument with courage to be able to show them who is God. And so a lovely inspiration to be able to take on big things, knowing that the big family is there with me, the relationship of love and respect is there. And so, yes, surely, with Baba's remembrance and Baba's power, we can pull it off. It can truly happen. So that was very lovely reading that. And then Baba also had a different angle on the whole subject of revelation of God and how the Kumbhakarna, the sleeping giant of Bharat, would be awoken. And normally we always say that if there's a mic from abroad who goes to India and gives God's message and people believe him and trust him, then that's going to wake up the Kumbhakarna. This time Baba's answer was a little bit different. You're doing good things here in India. Well, it's coming even on national television. But is it possible for such an event not only to have coverage in India, but to create such a sound that the sound reaches abroad and it hits the headlines in the papers and the media abroad? And if there's something from India that's being reported abroad, the impact of that is on Bharat. Then people say, well, this must be something very spectacular. If the London Times or the New York Times have covered this event, then it must be something really special. And so the sleeping giant of India being awoken will happen through media, and media creating the sound that then comes back to Bharat again. So that was, again, very lovely to read all that. And then Baba spoke to the Kumars and the Kumaris. Baba was, in his own terms, very, very official, which means Baba was pretty serious. It wasn't joke, it wasn't light, it was very deep love, but certainly it was serious. And Baba was saying that even to have an impure thought come in your dreams is a sin. And of course, think about it. If something is coming up in my dreams, surely it would have come up in my thoughts at some point and changed my attitude and my vision and my behavior. And so, Baba, very strong. You're a mouth-born child of Brahma. You're all brothers and sisters. And so just keep remembering this, that not even in your dreams are you allowed to touch or to have dreams about this. No way. And if you go over the boundaries, the maryadas that Baba had taught us, even just a little bit, you cannot excuse yourself and say, oh, well, it was only a little tiny thing that happened, nothing much. Baba's not seeing it that way. Baba's seeing that here you are, a Brahmin, and so even something little is very big because of the promise we've made to Baba. And so to make sure that I make my promise to Baba each year, whatever time of year it is that is touching for me, whether it's 18th January, whether it's 1st of January, or whether it's any other holy day that I find significant for myself. But the point that if I've made a promise, I cannot go back on it. I have to be able to fulfill it. And if I overstep the line, then I can't be dismissive and say, oh, it's okay, it doesn't really matter. It matters a great deal. And Baba is then going to become the detached observer. If by chance there has been anything that's been done that needs punishment, Baba will be there, but the punishment will happen. And of course, it's an internal experience of sorrow and suffering and distress. It's not somebody physically beating you up with a belt or dunking your head in water. Nothing like that. But that very sacred moment of saying yes to Baba, and if I break that moment, that promise, then there's a lot of conflict that goes on inside. And so Baba's saying that that's how it's going to be. Dharam Raj will do whatever he needs to do to give you that realization that can help you settle that karma. So a Murli of many insights, but this particular page of the Murli, first time I've heard Baba be so strict in his description of why it is essential that we follow all the disciplines and the principles that Baba has laid down for us. And then again, Baba coming back to the subject of the mind. Be the ruler of your mind, be the master of your mind, so that you're able to maintain your happiness continually. So those were the main points from Baba's Murli. I open it up to Aruna and others now.
Yeah, thank you so much, gentlemen. So maybe, yeah, let's stay with that point. I know you've already said a lot about it, but when Baba says, let there not be any touching even through your attitude, there should be no touching even through your vision. So is it that I'm literally thinking of somebody and thinking of touching them? Or is it a metaphor that I just touch them? Because there's this whole thing of also, we don't just fall in love with the body, we actually then fall in love with the quality of the soul, or sometimes their intelligence. We fall in love with somebody being intelligent. So is that also touching? Maybe you can unravel this, and again, a great opportunity to make it very clear for all of us.
Two different aspects of the touching that Baba's talking about. One is the physical touch, and Baba knows that it can open the door to a lot of mischief. So I can't dismiss it and say, oh, it was only a little bit of something. But Baba knows that Maya is very sneaky, and so even a little bit of a touch, and it's going to open the door for Maya to come in a big way. And then the other sort of touching, I think, is where I want to influence them, or I am being influenced by them also. But my attitude, I want them to remember me. I want them to be attracted to me. I want them to praise me. So my attitude and my vision, I'm behaving with them in such a way that I'm asking them for their approval, in a sense. And so, or where I have been touched by a human being internally, not a physical thing, but they've laid such an impact on my mind that it's like they're with me. and I'm talking to them, I'm thinking about them, I'm connecting with them. And of course, today we have so many devices to be able to connect with anyone. Madhuban had one telephone in Ishudadi's office all the way through till, I think, the 80s. And it was only much, much later that another telephone appeared in the system where we have the sisters who handle the telephone exchange today. And now, of course, everybody carries 2-3 phones around in their pockets. So we've come very far from those early days in which everything was very basic and simple. And so the world has got complicated. Our lives have got complicated. And the devices that we're surrounded by are very tempting. And here's Baba saying, don't let there be any touching, either in the attitude or in the vision or in your intellect. Nothing. So the first part explained it very clearly. But now the subtle aspect that, am I going to have somebody impact me, or am I going to want to impact them so that I build up a close human relationship instead of focusing on that one eternal relationship? So I think it means both aspects. Clear?
Yes, thank you. So the other aspect to this was Father Brahma will also side with Dharamraj. So again, it's clear, but is there no margin for a little compassion for those who are making effort?
The effort is today. Compassion is today. And so when Baba sees me making honest effort with courage, okay, so whatever has happened has happened. But today I'm very determined that my inner state of being has to be one of total purity, with no distractions, no attractions to anyone or anything. And for my own protection, what I want is to stay within that Brahman atmosphere. And Baba sees that, and Baba enables me to have that possibility. And having gone through this period when, in this last chapter, Baba's helping us so much and is still willing to forgive and forget. If I still fall into human traps or trap another human being, then at that moment, I was fascinated by this expression, Father Brahma will be there, because until now, I have always thought of Dharamraj in the form of Brahma Baba, because Shiv Baba incorporeal. But when we come in front of Dharamraj, what sort of figure will he be? What sort of face will he have? And in my mind, I've always thought that Dharamraj, the one who establishes the kingdom of righteousness, that for sure is Brahma Baba. And so Shiv Baba through Brahma Baba is Dharamraj. And so yes, Brahma Baba is there, but now in a very different role. No more compassion or love or a little margin to push the boundaries here or there. That time has gone. Now it's the time for just simply Dharamraj. You know, it's like those who had the fortune of Sakar Baba's days, that was their fortune. Those who had the fortune of Avyat Bapdada's days, we had that fortune. And then there were souls who were around, but yet didn't have enough understanding or maybe physical capacity to actually come close to Brahma Baba, either in Sakar or in Avyakt. Well, I'm talking about Brahmans who didn't make that effort, not the ones who've come later from COVID times, but the ones who had the opportunity and they still didn't come closer. So Baba's saying in this Murli, I am now being very official. This is an official statement for all of you. Now listen. Don't let it be that it goes in one ear and out of the other. It really has to be absolutely clear. And so Brahma Baba, the father, the teacher, is helping us now, but later Brahma Baba will be the detached Dharamraj, and things will happen, things will be retold, but Brahma Baba, the main instrument, will be up above.
Somebody, yes, just if I could comment. So somebody had mentioned that, oh, he's only speaking to the Kumars and Kumaris because they are young, their hormones have upheaved. And I said, no, I don't think so. So could you
No.
just underline that it is, although he's speaking to them, but it is for everyone?
And he even categorically stated about the mothers. Baba even brought in the subject of attachment being sin. And so that also is impurity. And so then who is he excluding? Is he excluding just the brothers, the Pandavas? No, it was for everyone. In front of him at that moment, the vision was focused on the Kumars and Kumaris because it seems a lot have come that time. But categorically, the mothers got a mention. And then the brothers, of course, it's the whole family Baba speaking to and saying, now I am being very official with you.
Yes, thanks, Jayanti. And you know, I was, as you were speaking, I was remembering my early days and when letters were being opened. I mean, you never opened any of our letters, but I remember when I was in New York and Mohini Ben had opened somebody's letter and the girl had got a bit annoyed, a bit, yeah, mad that somebody had opened a letter. And then Sister Mohini pointed out to her, well, what's wrong? What is there to hide? So I remember those days where, you know, even letters were open, but now messages and so many messages, you don't know who's writing to who. Yeah. So, gentlemen, the other main question that's come up by a few people, and that is this question of capacity. So Baba said, some of you are making effort according to your capacity. So first question is, how does Baba measure our capacity? Right, translators, how does Baba measure our capacity? And secondly, what is the difference between potential and capacity, or is it the same thing?
Baba doesn't have to measure my capacity, but I, according to my capacity, let's take up the focus and concentration bit, because this term is used in so many different contexts, but in this particular Murli, the context of focusing and concentrating. And so Baba's saying, however much you can focus according to your capacity, to that extent, you will see how it's possible to be free from obstacles, to develop the angelic qualities, etc., etc., etc. So Baba is not measuring anything, but it's me. What is my own capacity to be able to focus, to concentrate? But I can also increase my capacity. And at this moment, the level of my capacity is middling, but maybe now that I'm becoming aware, I can increase the quality of my capacity to very high or very fast speed, fast effort. And so I think that capacity refers to what I am capable of, my potential, and then whatever I'm doing at this moment. But what Baba is saying is that I'm showing you how to attain the highest goal. And then there are some who are making effort on that level. And for them, it's not so difficult because there's only Baba and they're focused on Baba. But if I'm saying, well, this is as much as I can manage, Baba will say, okay, do as much as you can, whatever it is you can. Yeah.
I, the soul, am limiting myself according to my sanskars, my karma, all of that, right? I mean, we know it's all in our hands. We know that. So basically, what about souls who just can't do it? You know, souls who just can't make that effort. So what their capacity is that limit? I mean, you can see it even in terms of physical work. Some people can do 10, 12 hours and others after 6 hours are pooped. So what's that? It's just what's in the soul. But what I'm trying to say, gentlemen, is one can't push themselves any more than they are.
I think there's a margin sometimes. I know I could do better if I tried. And yet I'm not making enough effort to make it happen in that way. And so then Baba doesn't want me to experience regret afterwards. But if I've really done my best, I couldn't have done any more than I did. Then, of course, Baba will say, okay, child, that's fine. But if today I know myself, I could have done more, but I didn't, now that's going to be a lot of regret on my part. And so Baba doesn't want me to spend any time on feeling guilty or having regret or pain because I let an opportunity slip by. You know, it's cold outside, and you know that if you wrap up well, you can still go out and do whatever it is you need to do, whether it's exercise or shopping or whatever. But it's cold outside, and I've got all the garments that I need to keep me warm outside. But I'm feeling a bit lazy. Oh, who's going to bother? Oh, never mind if I don't exercise today, or even if I don't go out shopping today, I can do that tomorrow. And so the potential is there, the capacity is there for a very mundane thing, but I'm not making the effort to make it happen. And so this is what Baba's seeing, that some have the possibility, but they're not willing to make that effort to make it happen. And then afterwards they'll complain and say, oh, but I wasn't given the chance. And Baba's saying, not true. Everybody has an opportunity. Everybody has a chance. Now let me take that opportunity and do what I need to do.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, thank you so much. So maybe connected with this, we can take this question. Those who conquer the mind conquer the world. So I want to give an example. Once I remember I bought some of these hair bands and I said to you, gentlemen, would you like to use them? And you said no. And I said, why not? And you said, I don't need it. I don't want to be dependent on it. And you actually, well, maybe you do now, but in those your young days, you didn't need any ribbon or band or anything. So it's a very small example, but it's this aspect of when you conquered the mind, you've told the mind that I don't need this, then I have conquered the world. So do you have any other stories like that for yourself where you've conquered the mind and therefore you feel you've conquered the world?
Well, it's not so much a question of conquering the world in that way, but recently somebody asked me, they sent me a little photograph and said, tell me, do you want this color or that color? And do you want this size or that size? And I thought about it and I wrote back to them and I said, well, I've got good things here. I've got good things in India. I don't need anything at the moment. And so am I going to be distracted because somebody's offering it to me? And I just decided that they won't be offended. I'll explain to them, I've got enough, I've got enough. And they understood and it was fine. But it's so easy not just to have the thought, I want, I want, I want, but there's always going to be somebody who offers you something, even though you've said you don't want, but they'll offer it to you. And it then comes like a temptation. Well, shall I take it or not take it? And so I think in little things, if you can discipline your mind, it's going to be easier to be able to focus and concentrate and achieve that stage that Baba's actually talking about. if I say, I want to experience Paramdham, can I keep my mind in that awareness of being in Paramdham, not just for a minute or 2 minutes, a few minutes, but for a period of time? And how beautiful that stage is when my mind is obedient and isn't wandering off here and there and pulling me away from what is the most important thing I need to do today, which is to remember God, connect with God, and feel that purification. And so that stage truly is conquest not only of my mind, but it's also, I'm the master. Nothing can pull me, nothing can distract me. There's nothing wasteful, negative that can happen. I'm truly the master of the world.
Thank you, Genuine. Lovely. Okay, here's another question. So on the one hand, Baba says that you move away from angry people. I think that was during the week. And then in other Avyak Murli's, Baba might say that you have to send those souls sakash, you have to have benevolent feelings. So somebody's question is, well, doesn't Baba contradict themselves? And secondly, how do we protect ourselves from such people? We need to serve them, but then how do we protect ourselves?
Here I am, and the person in front of me is getting angry. Their temperature is rising. Am I going to challenge them? And Baba's saying it's a waste of your time and energy. It's like they're not going to listen to reason at this moment. They're not in that state of awareness where they're ready to listen. And so be silent. Let that moment pass. Protect yourself, because just trying, then at some point you're going to lose patience and jump back at them and retort something. And so at that moment, really just internally step away. And if physically you can, also physically step away. And then when I'm having good yoga with Baba, then if they come into my mind and I send them Baba's light and Baba's good wishes, I'm able to do both. I haven't put into my head that they're an awful person, they're a nasty person, I'm not going to talk to them again. It's not that reaction, which is also anger inside of me, that's saying they're nasty, they're horrible, they shouldn't be like this, why are they like this? No, it's a very cool, detached way of thinking. There's no point in carrying on with this conversation. Okay, let's just end quietly. And then at a time when it's quiet for me and I can be with Baba, then I can send them good wishes. And yes, sometimes we've seen those good wishes work very quickly and they melt very fast. And within a short space of time, you're connecting with them and everything is fine, as if nothing has happened. But of course, on the human level, then I'll say, but you realize what you were doing. And again, it's my anger that's revealing itself instead of my stage of stability and calm, in which they must have realized something. This is why they've approached me now. Well, okay, past is past. Let's move on. So often you see our reactions are not as Baba wants them to be, but they're being dictated by my sanskars and my nature. And then I say, well, why is Baba saying this? But no, what is Baba saying? Baba's saying stay cool. Baba's not saying have angry thoughts about them or have bad feelings for them. No. Be Om Shanti, truly Om Shanti. And then send them those good wishes and it'll work.
Thank you, gentlemen. Just a few questions, so maybe quick responses. So on the one hand, Baba says that, well, Baba said in the Murli that he was loving, Brahma Baba was loving and detached. So we know that Brahma Baba was loving. How was he detached?
When Mama left the body, Baba just simply told them all, come, let's sit down and do yoga. And yes, Baba was very clever. Baba said, maybe Baba will send the soul back because of our love. But Baba was demonstrating detachment, that we can sit and just simply have yoga. We don't need to do anything else. And of course, that stage of yoga of Baba helped everybody else come to a very powerful stage. Then by the morning, they were ready for the next step, the cremation and everything. Within the Indian system, if Baba had said, well, it's still only 4 o'clock in the evening, we can have the cremation now. And in those days, how big was the population of the village of Abu? Definitely they could have done the cremation immediately. Baba didn't do that. Detached and yet compassionate in terms of the feelings of the children. And so let's just sit and have yoga. When Vishwakishore left the body, Dada, while he was alive, Baba sat up till midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, sending Sakash to help the soul. And once the soul had gone, Shilendra Dadi phones Baba and says, Baba, should we bring the body to Abu for the cremation, or will you come to Bombay for the cremation? Baba saying, no, the soul has gone. And you just deal with things there locally in the way that you need to. Baba's not coming, and neither do you need to bring the body back here. And then later, when Shilendra Dadi had come to Abu, and she was showing Baba photographs of the funeral, again, Baba's answer, the soul has gone. I don't need to see those photos. Baba did not look at those photos. And so the deep love and compassion was demonstrated, but yet no attachment.
Thank you, lovely. A question from the chat box. Could Sister Jayanti expand on what Baba said in the Murli on 13th, that accurate remembrance requires patience, maturity, and understanding?
If I have the sanskar of impatience, my mind is jumping, it's racing. It's going to be difficult to have calm, steady, stable connection with Baba. And so I need to have patience, develop that quality, recognizing its value of non-reaction, but also patience with myself. If I think I can become karmatit in a year, then I'm not being very patient or compassionate with myself, because I can't be karmatit in a year. That's not a reality. And so can I have patience with myself so that I can go into the depth of soul consciousness, the depth of yoga, very calmly, not trying to push myself against fast rules that are really not a reality and can't be possibly maintained. So that's the patience. And then maturity. Baba uses the word gambhirta, and we've always had trouble translating it because it covers so many aspects. So maturity is, it's even in English language. Here's a piece of cheese that's mature, but here's a person who's mature. And so it's a little bit of age, it's a little bit of experience, it's the accumulation of the learnings of life. And so, yes, yoga is going to take time. Soul consciousness is not so easy. I need to give it a lot of attention. Then I can truly say that I'm soul conscious. So I need to have that maturity and being able to have patience and go slowly into the depths of what is yoga and how to cultivate that inner stage of calm in which I can feel Baba being close to me. And then the third, the understanding. Drama, something's happened, my mind is jumping here and there. No, I understand soul, I understand God, I understand drama, and so I'm able to stay connected with Baba. Where I don't understand drama or I react with drama, my yoga gets shaken. That's the reality of everybody's experience, I'm sure. Then you can be sitting in front of Baba, but yet your mind isn't stable. Your mind is being pulled again and again to the situation. And so understand drama, sweet drama, and then sit in yoga, and there won't be any disturbance.
Thank you, gentlemen. So I just wanted to share a quick story, another story of Brahma Baba. And this is by Vidya Didi. And she said that once Baba held my hand and took me with him to the rooms where the children were sleeping. And there Baba taught me that, child, see, there are 3 stages of sleep. There is Sattoguni, Rajoguni, and Tamoguni sleep. Then Baba asked her, now tell me, in which stage are they sleeping? And she said, how can I know, Baba? So Baba said, if someone is seen calm, innocent, and has a spiritual attraction on the face, then that child is in a Sattoguni state, Sattoguni sleep, Yog Nindra, right? Sleep yoga. And if someone is snoring and bending their legs here and there, then they have a Rajoguni sleep. And if someone is swimming like a fish in their sleep, then that is Tamoguni sleep. So any comments on that, Sister Jayanti?
It's true, isn't it? Sometimes when you wake up and the bed is all over the place and it's like you've been fighting in your sleep. So that wasn't a very nice, comfortable Satoguni sleep, definitely. And so you can judge for yourself also just by the state of your bed after you've woken up. Is the bed sheet still okay? Is the pillow still in the same place? So you can feel it, but also the external situation will tell you what it is.
Right. And so I want to announce, thank you, Sister Jayanti. I want to announce to everyone that we have one more lovely session with Sister Jayanti. That's next week, Wednesday, 22nd. And then after that, Sister Jayanti really will go off to Bali. And I want to say that we are at GRC here. And if anyone would like to make some BK blessings, we have Lokik blessings, but if anyone would like to make BK blessings and send those to us, we'd be very grateful. We'll need them for this year. We're running out, actually. So get in touch with me or anyone else you're connected with here. And yeah, we'll get them here somehow. So thank you, and let's have some powerful drishti. And Jayanti-ben has already shared a lot about our preparation for the 18th. So wishing everyone a very beautiful, quiet, meditative 18th with Baba. Om Shanti.
On the path of devotion, we sing your name. Through lifetimes of yearning, it's always the same. You are the one, the light we seek, the source of truth, eternal and meek. Oh, the land of peace and happiness, where the soul finds rest, eternal bliss. Through cycles of time, we've waited for you to guide us home to the pure and true. You bring the dawn of the deity reign, restoring the world